Hello and welcome to HITC Sport, and today we've got another tier list video for you, looking at the 50 most expensive players in the history of the game. We're going to rank them into 5 tiers, the top being worth every penny, then we've got very good, decent but overpriced, the fourth is underwhelming, and the bottom tier is an absolute waste of money. Let's get to it. So we'll start with the most expensive player in the world, Neymar. I've just got this list off Wikipedia. I mean, it might not be the most accurate, but is what we're going to go with. So we'll start with Neymar, and I'm going to put him in a waste of money. The idea of him that he was going to win the Ballon d'Or with PSG, you know, he was going to take it to the Champions League, it just hasn't happened. Yeah, they've sold a canny few shirts, and a few people might have tuned into a few more PSG games, but really it hasn't been worth it. The likes of Mbappe, Cavani, they've done well and been worth the money, we'll get to them later. But really for Neymar rather, it wasn't worth it, waste of money, and he's a little bit of an arsehole. Next up we've got Mbappe, and he's going to go in very good. He hasn't been an absolute cock like Neymar. The amount of goals he scored for them has been incredible, but he hasn't delivered the Champions League. So for me, you can only go in very good at the minute, but he has been he has been very good. That might be a little harsh, but that's the game. Third, we've got João Felix. Where is he? There he is. And I'm going to put him in underwhelming. He cost £114 million from Benfica, which I think was the most expensive fee ever for a teenager. But he hasn't filled an Antoine Griezmann-shaped hole in the Atletico Madrid attack, which is probably why they haven't been as good as I expected this season. Did I tip them to win the league? I'm a little bit worried I did. So yeah, we're going to get him in underwhelming. Who we got next? It is Antoine Griezmann, the man we've just mentioned. And he can go in decent but overpriced. He scored 8 goals, I think, for Barcelona in the league, which is alright in 26 games, but it's not that many, considering he's playing with Messi, Suarez, and Messi's playing a bit deeper nowadays. No, he could have done better, but he hasn't been... he has scored a fair few goals for them. Yeah, he's going in decent but overpriced, but then again, that was the release clause that Atletico Madrid had for him, so really, what could Barcelona do? Next up, Philippe Coutinho, another Barcelona signing, and he's also going in a waste of money. I mean, they gave up on him after about 6 months or something, was it? It wasn't long. Now he's at Bayern Munich. I mean, he's doing great there. He's an excellent player, but I don't know why Barcelona bothered. Liverpool are laughing at this screen gone off. There we go. Liverpool are laughing. How long was that off for? Tin pot operation. But anyway, Liverpool are laughing all the way to the bank with this transfer. They absolutely rinsed Barcelona. Waste of money. And next up is Ousmane Dembele. Christ, Barcelona have been busy, boys. Going to put Ousmane Dembele in underwhelming as well. He's shown flashes of talent, but the amount of injuries he's had, it's just been so disappointing. But when he does play, he's an absolute class act. Hopefully he can get off the injury list and, you know, get out playing. He's a fantastic footballer, but for the minute, he just isn't getting the chance to show it. Next up, your favourite and mine, Paul Pogba. And to be honest, underwhelming. I do like Paul Pogba, I'm a real big fan of him, but I think everyone expected a lot more from this move to Man United. He's made the headlines for the wrong reasons. Pundits are on his back all the time, but when he's on it, he'd have been worth every penny. But the issue is he's either not been fit or he doesn't look interested, so he's going in underwhelming. Eden Hazard next. Nope, that's Cristiano Ronaldo. Eden Hazard, Real Madrid. Hasn't played as much as he'd hoped because of injury, but still very good. When he has played, he's been excellent. And once he can get his fitness back, once we get football back on the telly, he should be an absolute star. Real Madrid haven't really replaced Cristiano Ronaldo, but Hazard can be that talisman figure they're missing. So yeah, very good. Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. It's the Juventus move. And he's going to go in very good as well. He's scored an incredible amount of goals for his age for Juventus. But the only thing is, they signed him with the idea that in the brief time he would be with them, he would deliver the Champions League. And he's yet to do that. So we're going to put him in very good. We'll set a high standard here at HITC Sport. Gareth Bale, also very good. That 86 million pound move I've got here. Wikipedia reckon it was 86 million pounds that Real Madrid paid Tottenham for him. I think a lot of the stick Gareth Bale gets at Tottenham is I think a lot of the stick that Gareth Bale gets at Real Madrid is undeserved. He just didn't seem to be liked because he wasn't... I mean, if he was Spanish, he'd be held as one of the greatest of all time. The amount of goals he scored, the trophies he's won. But no, they just don't seem to like him over there. So, I like him. He'll go in very good. Not worth every penny because of what's happened in the last few years, but still, very good. And after that, it is Cristiano Ronaldo, the move to Real Madrid, he broke the world transfer record for £80 million, and for that, he is worth every penny. The amount of records he broke in a Real Madrid shirt, the goals he scored, he took his game to a whole new level. I mean, he was sensational at Real Madrid. He was sensational at Man United, but at Real Madrid, he was absolutely the best player in the world who wasn't called Lionel Messi, worth every penny. From one great to another, it is Harry Maguire. Far too much money was spent on him. But he's been alright, just alright, so decent but overpriced. Can't really see anything else. Gonzalo Higuain, that moved to Juventus. I mean, when he was at Napoli, he was probably the hottest striker in Europe at the time. He scored 36 goals in 34 games, something ecstatic like that. Juventus, he didn't score as many, but he did score a fair few. And then he kind of shunned down the pecking order once Ronaldo arrived. Why have I put him in decent but overpriced? Yes, decent but overpriced. I mean, he was the most expensive ever transfer in Italy before Ronaldo. Yeah, probably expected more Juventus. Next, it's Romelu Lukaku. It is the move from Everton to Manchester United, and I'm really sad this one didn't really work out. 2 full seasons he had at Old Trafford, and he hit double figures in both. But I don't know, his face just didn't seem to fit. Then once Solskjaer arrived, he didn't really fancy him that much, which is why I think he was sort of into Milan. We'll come to that one in a bit, but Romelu Lukaku wasn't as bad as it was made out, and I think that's a bit... Just if I turn off again, with it, who cares? Okay. Yeah, I think a lot's been said in the past few months. Really, Man United should not have sold Lukaku, and you can tell how happy he is now in Inter Milan. Decent but overpriced. Next up, Virgil van Dijk. Worth every penny. If you look at what Liverpool have done in the past, however long, 2.5 years, it's mainly down to Virgil van Dijk. The way he's transformed that defence. £75 million looked a lot of money to begin with, but to be honest, money well spent. Worth every penny. What a player. Next we've got Romelu Lukaku again. And it was the move to Inter Milan, which cost, I've got written here, £75 million. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, for Inter Milan, he's been incredible in front of goal. The man that Man United thought they had, but really hasn't worked out for him. But at the San Siro, he's been incredible. I mean, he's still not that old, really. He started very young. He's one of the best strikers around. Inter Milan have got a real talent on their hands, and it's Man United's loss. Next up, Nicolas Pepe, £72 million, I think it was, to Arsenal to become their record signing. And to be honest, it's been underwhelming. For Lille, his numbers are incredible. I think he hit more than 20 goals last season, but a lot of them were set pieces. And in an Arsenal shirt, it just hasn't quite happened. We've seen flashes of talent, you know, those goals in the Europa League, those 2 late free kicks, which were stunning, but he hasn't been a waste of money, but he hasn't been great either, so he's going underwhelming. Kepa Arrizabalaga, waste of money. It was a panic buy, wasn't it? I mean, I could have mentioned on that panic buys video the other day, but I didn't. But he was a panic buy for Chelsea. They lost Thibaut Courtois and they needed another big name. So they spent, I mean, it was the most expensive goalkeeper in world football. It was 60, 70 million, whatever it was. A ridiculous fee for a goalkeeper who was very young. You know, he was going to get better and better. But at the time, not quite ready to be the main man at Chelsea. A club who wanted to win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. He's let himself down in the past 6 months or so. So, waste of money. He'll probably be gone in the summer, if the transfer window ever opens again. Next up, Lucas Hernandez. Joined Bayern Munich this summer for 8 years. I'm not really bothered about what order they're setting on here, because, I mean, I'm not going to bother, it doesn't matter. Lucas Hernandez, who's done well for Bayern Munich. A lot of money was spent on him, and he has missed a lot of football through injury, but when he has played, he's been a rock. He's young, I think he's only 24, he's only going to get better. One for the future. Next up, Matthijs de Ligt. Also going in very good. Have I put on that? Yes, I have. Just check my notes. Yeah, Matthijs de Ligt, the man in demand last summer. He's only 20. I mean, he plays like he's a veteran. Alongside Chiellini, Bonucci, doesn't look out of place. He's going to be Juventus' main man for years to come. Ignore those rumours about him going to Man United. That's not going to happen. Next up, Luis Suarez, another player who swapped Liverpool for Barcelona. And this is one they got absolutely right. At a time, Luis Suarez was the best player in the world outside of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. If it wasn't for those two, he would have won a Ballon d'Or. The goals he scored, he's such a tenacious player. He's an absolute arsehole, but fair play to him. Next, Frankie de Jong, another Barcelona signing. Like Christ, they have spent a lot of money in recent years. And Frankie de Jong, yeah, very good. Absolute joy to watch. If Barcelona are going to really get back to where they were and not just be relying on Lionel Messi, Frankie de Jong is going to be absolutely key to that. So yeah, we'll put him in very good, second top tier. Next up, is it James Rodriguez I can see there? Yes, it is. Decent but overpriced. He came in off the back of the World Cup in 2010, I believe it was, and he was incredible for Colombia, won the Golden Boot. Remember that volley he scored? Amazing, but in a Real Madrid shirt, it just hasn't quite worked out at times. He has been good, but then he's also been farmed out on loan a few times. Now he's back. I think Zidane is one of those players he wants to get rid of alongside Gareth Bale. But he wasn't. His Real Madrid career hasn't all been bad, so we'll put him in the middle tier, decent but overpriced. And then we've got Rodri, Manchester City's record signing. Also going to put him in decent but overpriced. I think we probably would have said Rodri was a lot better if Fernandinho hadn't had to play in centre back this season. So Rodri's had to play more, hasn't been able to lean on Fernandinho for advice. The screen's turned off again. He has been good, but £63 million, I think City would have expected a lot more. Thomas Lemar next, and he's going in waste of money. Thomas Lemar was one of the, that Monaco team, he was one of the stars of it, the likes of Mbappe, but Lemar was arguably just as good, a real talent for the France team, the ones that won the World Cup. Didn't really play much at the World Cup, I don't think. And Athletic Madrid made in their record signing before João Felix, and he just doesn't really fit the system under Simeone. He's not disciplined, he's not going to work hard for you. He's just always been out of place, injuries have mounted up. He needs to get out really to achieve that potential he's definitely got. But for the minute, he's going in waste of money. Also, the reason I am looking down is because I've got a lap down. It's not because I'm nervous and keep looking at my feet. Although that might be what you think in the comments below. Anyway, the screen on, I just thought it looked a bit shit with a blank screen and it keeps going off and it's too late to change it. Just have to deal with it. Times are hard. Riyad Mahrez is next. Man City, that £63 million? £60 million I've got written here, according to the trusty guys at Wikipedia, and he's going in very good. I think if he'd asked us at the start of the season, I would have put in underwhelming, but this year he's played a lot of football, mainly down to Leroy Sané being injured, and now he looks like a proper Man City player. Yeah, very good. Next, that Angel Di Maria moved to Man United, £59 million I believe it was, and it was so disappointing. That chip he scored against Leicester was incredible, and then it just didn't get any better after that, did it? There was a lot of personal issues. I think his house got broken into, or attempted broken into. And, he left after a year. Very disappointing. Waste of money though. And then Alvaro Morata's going in there with again, Alvaro Morata, wasting money, but another player I like and want to succeed. Had his personal problems at Chelsea. I think one of his best friends died when he was there, and it'd be very difficult to cope with if you're away from your home country. But yeah, in the Chelsea shirt, just didn't really quite click for him, and yeah, I'm glad he's moved on now. Christian Pulisic, another Chelsea signing. Decent but overpriced. We've seen flashes of brilliance from Christian Pulisic. That hat-trick he scored against Burnley was incredible. But what happened? The screen's off again. There it goes. I haven't seen enough of him. There's Christian Pulisic. No, you can't see him. No, you can. Christian Pulisic. Good on him. Yeah, he is a very good player, but hopefully in a few years' time, when he gets better and better, he can go into very good, potentially be worth every penny. When I'm sure we'll do this video again. Look out for that one. But for now, decent but overpriced. Aymeric Laporte, another Man City signing. Going to be slightly controversial here and just put him in very good here, rather than worth every penny. Simply because he's had a lot of problem with injuries, and if he hadn't had those problems with injuries, City would be a lot better. The title race would be so much closer this season if Aymeric Laporte hadn't missed the majority of the season due to injury, and that's what stops him going from very good to worth every penny. Sorry, Aymeric. One man who is worth every penny, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. For Arsenal, he's been an absolute machine. The amount of goals he scored has been sensational, and sometimes he can just be playing crap, and out of nowhere he comes with this extraordinary finish, just like Thierry Henry back in the day, except Thierry Henry was never really playing crap. But Aubameyang, man, what a natural goal scorer. I hope he doesn't leave Arsenal in the summer. They might have to sell him though with his contract expiring next summer. They need to get some money for him. They can't let him leave for nothing. But yes, worth every penny. One man who wasn't worth every penny, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Where will we put him? Underwhelming. That moved to Barcelona in 2009. Was it 2000? Yes, 2009. Just check my notes there, sorry. He just didn't really fit under Guardiola, did he? They clashed a lot. I think it was bits in his autobiography saying that he was shouting at Guardiola. Then Messi wanted to move inside, so Messi got his own way. Ibrahimovic was pushed out. Eventually sold after a year, or he went on loan. His face didn't fit under Guardiola, so that's why he was underwhelming. Probably the worst spell of his career, and it wasn't even that bad. He was still pretty good in front of goal. Next we've got Kaka. And I'm going to put Kaka in underwhelming as well. He broke the world transfer record in 2009, just before Ronaldo broke his record a few weeks later when he joined Real Madrid. At the time, Kaka, the best player in the world for AC Milan. But in a Real Madrid shirt, it just didn't quite click for him. He had injury bothers. Mesut Ozil arrived, kind of took his place. I say it was just start of the demise of Kaka, which was quite sad. But when he was in an AC Milan shirt, he was absolutely irresistible. But it's sad what happened at Real Madrid. I mean, he wasn't awful, but underwhelming is probably the only way to describe it. Next, we've got Alisson Becker, the second most expensive goalkeeper in the history of the game, and he's been worth every penny for Liverpool. I mean, if we go back to the 2018 Champions League final, the main reason they lost that game was because Loris Karius had an absolute shocker. Since then, they've won Champions League, Super Cup, Club World Cup, gonna win the Premier League, hopefully that gets restarted. And Alisson, man, just an incredible goalkeeper. Calm, cool. I mean, you can tell the difference this season when he hasn't played and Adrian's had to feature. Liverpool have been all over the place. That Champions League game against Atletico Madrid, Adrian, he let them down there. But I mean, you know, this is a guy who was playing for West Ham a few years ago. He's not at the same level that Alisson is, but, you know, that just proved how good Alisson is. Worth every penny. Another man worth every penny, Kevin De Bruyne. For my money, the best player in the Premier League, has been for a long time, even when Hazard was there. Kevin De Bruyne was my man. The things he can do with the football is absolutely incredible. The passes he picks, the weight of the pass, the timing of the pass. He's strong, he glides with the ball, he's just amazing. I love Kevin De Bruyne. We've got a hat-trick of players worth every penny. Edinson Cavani to PSG. At the time when PSG were just finding the way they had a lot of money to spend, Edinson Cavani will go down as one of the greatest players in PSG's history. A very short history, but one of the greatest. I think he's their all-time leading goal scorer. He's just been an absolute menace in front of goal. Slightly wasted in PSG because, you know, I mean, they're going to win it anyway. I would have loved to have seen him in the Premier League. There was talk of that happening in January, never came to fruition, which is sad. But for PSG, he's been worth every penny. One man not worth every penny, Luka Jovic. Real Madrid, is it Jovic? We'll call him Jovic. Real Madrid spent big money to sign from Frankfurt after an incredible season in the Bundesliga. But no, I mean, a big reason probably why he hasn't been as good is because Karim Benzema's had a rebirth at Santiago Bernabeu. But Jovic just hasn't really done it. I think he's had disciplinary problems. Screen's turned off again, I'm aware. I can see in the reflection. So yeah, waste of money. Disappointing. Tanguy Ndombele, I'm going to put in underwhelming. Because I like Tanguy Ndombele, he's a great player to watch. But then in the past few months, I mean, pundits have got on his back. There's been those clips when you can just see he's made no effort at all. He's had injury bother. Yeah, underwhelming is the only way to get past it. Hopefully he will get better for Spurs because they spent a hell of a lot of money on him. A club that don't really like spending money, as you can tell, because they furloughed all of their staff. Next up, Naby Keita, another player underwhelming. Someone I thought was going to be a great signing for Liverpool. He was going to be that box-to-box goal-scoring midfielder that they didn't really have under Jurgen Klopp, and it just hasn't really happened like that. Injuries have been the main problem, so if you can get over them, I mean, he was showing signs of progress at Anfield, but injuries yet again getting on top of him. So we'll go on underwhelming. He hasn't been a waste of money yet. Give it another 6 months, then we'll see. Next up is Oscar, and I'm going to put him in decent but overpriced. The only transfer on this video that wasn't completed in Europe. He went from Chelsea to Shanghai SIPG, I think that's the name. He could have been the face of the Chinese Super League. At the time you thought, why was he moving there? But there was a little bit of method to his madness. He could have been the biggest player in China. He could have launched the league, and to be honest, just hasn't really happened, has it? Hasn't played for Brazil since 2015, I think. And to be honest, you'd be excused for forgetting all about Oscar. So yeah, we'll put him in decent but overpriced. He has done well in Shanghai, but I mean, who hasn't really, considering those foreign exports? Next up, Benjamin Mendy, and look at my notes, Benjamin Mendy goes in decent but overpriced. Another player that struggled with injuries. Perfect for Pep Guardiola's system, you know, rampage and left back, gets assists aplenty. But it's those injuries. He's a great character for the game. Although it was a little, there was those clips, I think it was the League Cup final, when he nicked that the photographer's camera. Bit of a dickhead move, wasn't it? Damn you, Benjamin. That poor lass just wanted a camera back, just take pictures and get paid. So decent but overpriced. Next up, Radamel Falcao, the move to Monaco, worth every penny. That career he had at Monaco was incredible. scored a lot of goals and that had that horrific knee injury. Then there was those weird 2 years when he was on loan at Manchester United and Chelsea, and he just was a shadow of his former self. I remember watching him at the Community Shield final between Arsenal and Chelsea start the game. His movement was incredible. He just didn't have the same pace he did, getting on those through balls. It was sad to see, but thankfully he came back to life at Monaco, guided them to the title, nearly won them the Champions League. Yeah, worth every penny. Fernando Torres, waste of money. Chelsea signed him for £50 million in 2011. Check the notes, 2011. It was 2011, it was the same year. Carroll went to Liverpool, that was sad. But yeah, Fernando Torres, by then he'd lost his pace, he'd had that horrific knee injury, and he wasn't the same player he once was at Liverpool. I mean, it was really sad to see. There was that incredible moment at the new camp where he gave Gary Neville an orgasm, but there was also that horror miss at Old Trafford. Torres didn't do as much as he should have at Chelsea. Waste of money. Next we've got Fred. Again, a few months ago I would have said waste of money, but he's had a bit of a rebirth, so we'll put him in. Decent but overpriced. He has been good for Man United now that they've started to pick up slightly. But it was a lot of money they spent on him. He hasn't been that good. Next up, Zinedine Zidane. Worth every penny. Well, I've not got many left here. But yes, worth every penny for Real Madrid. I know there's someone at HITC 7s, the only man at HITC 7s, who doesn't think Zinedine Zidane was always cocked up to be, but I mean, for me, he scored the greatest goal ever in that Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen. And that volley was incredible. I remember watching it as a kid, just amazed. Yes, what a player. Angel Di Maria to PSG. We'll put him in very good. We've got first double liner. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, I mean, a lot better than he was at Man United. Certainly a lot more comfortable. Perhaps a bit more of his level. I mean, he's not the player he was at Real Madrid, but for PSG, he's good enough. Yeah, we'll put him in very good. Raheem Sterling, worth every penny. I think it was about 50 million, 45 million pounds he cost Man City. And in the past couple of years under Guardiola, he's really kicked on and is one of the elite players in world football. First few years, you could have said, why did they spend that money on him? You'd have had him underwhelming, waste of money. But nowadays, he's worth every penny. What a player. And then back in the archives, Luis Figo. That controversial move when he went from Barcelona to Real Madrid. There was fans chucking pig heads at him when he was taking the corner in the El Clasico. But you can't doubt what a player he was. I mean, he was arguably even better for Real Madrid. His numbers, the amount of goals he scored, the assists he got. An incredible player in a Galacticos era where, there was the amount of talent there was in that Real Madrid squad. Ronaldo, the aforementioned Zidane, Roberto Carlos, Guti, Hierro. Oh, just an amazing team. And, Figo was one of the top players. Hernan Crespo. He joined Lazio in 2000 for about £35 million. It was a world record fee at the time. Lazio were looking to secure the back-to-back titles, but Crespo didn't deliver the title for them. He delivered a lot of goals, he won the Golden Boot, and then after a year they had to sell him because they were having money bother. So for those 2 years, he was very good for Lazio. He wasn't the main issue that they didn't win the title, but he didn't deliver the title, so he wasn't worth every penny. And finally we've got João Cancelo. I don't really know why João Cancelo was on this list, because on the Wikipedia thing, it has him down as costing €65 million, and in pounds it was £24.7 million. I think the issue was that Danilo went the other way. Oh, click on the right button. Oh, hell. So, he's in there anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're going to put him in underwhelming. I think the main issue has been underwhelming is that he hasn't played as much as you'd expected because of Kyle Walker. But yeah, disappointing. There we go, that is the top 50 most expensive players in world football. Christ, that took forever. But there we have it, there is the completed list. I haven't ranked them in the categories because, there isn't enough time in the day. But let me know what you think in the comments. Have we got some of these wrong? Where should other people be? Do you think Neymar really was a waste of money? I mean, that is a slightly controversial opinion, but I'll stick by it, I'll hang my hat on it. But there we have it, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.